Hello and welcome back. I'm finally able to talk without cracking up every 3 seconds, so that's good. Wasn't able to record the last 4 days because of that. Now I'm back in my Null home base, and of course I am back with the Machariel, one of my favorite ships in the game, and I got the skin for it. Well, actually the skin was given to me by one of my corporation mates, so big thanks for that. Now let's quickly take a look at this ship's fitting. Okay, well, everything is normal. Still using the 8 C-type large autocannons. Very soon I'll transport 8 C-type large artillery cannons for this ship. It will take some time to haul all of these 8 big guns towards this system here, but I'll have to do that. In the medium slots, the good old dual webs, 1 painter and 1 scrambler, all of which are used to defend against frigates and any other ships that get too close. That includes the drones. Instead of the large drones, I use medium drones. They're especially good against frigates and other ships that can be very deadly if they get too close. I have some large drones in the drone bay that I like to swap out if I shoot larger targets. MVD, shield booster, triple shield hardener, and 1 C-type gyro. This fit is mostly designed for PvE. It can also work for PvP. For the rigs, dual collision accelerator and 1 burst aerator. As for the engineering rigs, dual auxiliary thruster and 1 targeting rig, all of which are so far doing a good job. Now, as with any other angel ship, the Machariel is no different. It has bonuses on warp speed and warp acceleration, and of course a bonus on the damage control, and of course bonuses on large cannon tracking, damage, and of course fall off. Mostly these skills can be applied, they are similar with the cruiser and with the frigate angel ship. They're good for PvP, they're generally good for everything, and they're of course very fast, so they have the speed working for them. The damage control bonus is very good, I love it. It is very useful for PvP, it can buy you 5 extra seconds. It says 13 seconds, but with the bonus it will be 18 seconds, which is good. Those extra 5 seconds can really save your ship in the panic moments, and I've had some. I have a couple of these actually, so I have experience using that in that case. Well then, time to demonstrate the fit, and then we can jump in the special anomalies. Okay, I am at this save spot. Actually, I have no idea where this is in the system. And all modules are now active. Let's take a look at the fitting. Almost 2000 DPS. I can actually get around 2.5k cold DPS, but I am very satisfied with the current DPS. The shield resistances are going to be very good because of the triple hardeners. We're actually dual hardeners and 1 reactive. Capacitor is alright. It's actually stable. I'm not quite sure why it says 1 minute and 51 seconds. I can use all of these modules active without a problem. And the speed, 1.3 km per second, which is not bad for a battleship. It's actually pretty fast for a battleship. It goes the same velocity as my Cinnabar with the afterburner. Well then, let's hop on in the combat. Now here we are waiting at this gate here for the fleet commander to give us the signal to jump in, and well, people started to jump in. That means the signal has been given, and let's go in. Okay, I am a little bit late. Tapped on the jump button a little bit too late, but not a big problem. On our side we have couple. I think I saw a Balgorn, not quite sure, and I've seen other faction cruisers running around. Okay, the first wave, and battleships usually tend to have a hard time to lock on frigates because of the frigate signature radius, and of course they are very small ships. Against these ships, having webs, scramblers, and painters is a very smart idea. That way you can enable the large guns to hit them without any problem. I found the scrambler to be extremely deadly against frigates. With the dual webs you can practically make the frigate stop in its place. That's kind of interesting, and I wouldn't still use this ship for solo PvP because, well, usually if you're in Null and if you get caught with a battleship, then you can expect other ships to quickly swarm in at your location. Now, in my case, at least against these ships that I'm currently fighting here, I didn't have much of a problem to hit frigates once they are scrambled, painted, and of course once they have the dual webs on them. So I think it might work with a fit like this. The Vindicator can actually do that job a lot more efficient because it has actual bonuses on the webs, on other disruption modules as well. So a Vindy can be very lethal if you are in a frigate trying to catch it, because they can literally make your ship go 0 meters per second. That means you can practically be stopped in place, and in that case they can hit you without a problem. Now for the Machariel, this tactic works. Of course they are not going to go 0 meters per second because you don't have bonuses on webs on this ship, but it will slow them down enough to enable the big guns to hit them. So in the end, it depends on the fit, depends on, of course, your opponent. For storylines, for PvE, for doing these special anomalies, fleets are recommended. You can solo them, but it is a lot more safer if you have allies on your side. And we actually have a policy that you don't fly a battleship solo. And well, I have to follow that policy if I don't want to get my ship shot down, so I gotta follow the policy, because we had some incidents before that caused some very expensive ships to blow up, and since then we are trying to prevent that from reoccurring for a while. Okay, well, we have cleared the second, and now let's go and warp at the third room. This time I am warping on time here. Well, actually, we are warped at the same time. Interestingly enough, this ship can be faster than battlecruisers in warp. It actually can warp side by side with cruisers. It is very fast, one of the fastest warping battleships in the game. It might be actually the fastest battleship in the game, because I'm not quite sure if there is any other battleship that can go this fast. That means, in theory of course, if you ever get caught, you can technically outrun most ships. Your main threat are going to be interceptors and frigates, but if they use a MVD, you can scramble them, web them, and easily take them out. So in the end, you can technically survive if you have distance between your ship and between the enemy fleet. I actually will have to try that out sometimes, and at the moment I am quite waiting patiently for some action, and if any of that happens, I think I'll be using this ship, because I want to use it in a little bit more wait, what was that? Oh, that was a prophecy. Okay, a prophecy invaded my screen there for a moment. So I want to use the ship in a more serious way. It would be a waste of, well, waste of guns if this ship never sees PvP, and well, you know me, that's my favorite part of the game. So I'll be waiting patiently for the right moment to use this thing for PvP, especially in a major fleet, and hopefully that will happen very soon in one way or another way. So far been also practicing with this ship a lot to get the feel of using battleships, because you know, in most cases I actually fly cruisers, and as of recently I've been flying frigates. Battleships are a little bit different because they are slower and they take some time to turn left or right, up and down. So need to get the feel for that, and slowly but surely I am getting the hang of these ships. Although Machariel is a little bit more forgiving in that case, because it is actually not that slow and it turns rather quickly if we compare it to the other battleships. So in that case this ship is a little bit more forgiving than the rest. But as with the other angel cruisers or angel frigates, well, actually there is only one angel frigate and one angel cruiser, so let me correct myself there. These ships generally don't have that much hit points, so they are easier to shoot down than, let's say, a Nightmare or one Vindicator. Those two ships are very tanky, or a Balgorn, which is a big vampire. And this ship is very good for long range combat in a fleet, in pairs with Nightmares to give them the protective shield bubble, and that allows for some very interesting tactics. Now I used to, well, we actually have a lot of these Nightmares in this alliance, so you could see me in pair with one of these. Of course, in this case we have a Guardian cruiser doing the job for the bubble, but in some cases we also have a Nightmare doing that. Its DPS is, I think, one of the higher ones. It might be actually the highest DPS battleship in the game, although I know Vindicator can also have over 5000 DPS. With this ship I think the DPS can be equal to that, but you need to have good skills, good rigs, and I built this ship to be able to use both artillery and autocannons, and I built it to survive incoming damage, because of course I am in Null and I would like to have a good tank, which I do, so that also goes for this ship quite well. In this case, having a good tank can win you a PvP, because I still do some good damage, and if a ship that is focused on DPS tries to attack me, in theory I can outlast them. Of course I might have to change medium slots for one or two Nosferatus, which I think I will do, because I also have some other ideas for this ship, as you already know probably. So lots of interesting options to go for with the Machariel. Now here we are slowly but surely shooting down all of these ships in the third room. The third room can be quite deadly, and the faction ships that appear can hit quite hard, and I hope that the Guardian can survive all that damage. Would be funny if the Guardian just popped out of nowhere and if all of us just start to drop like flies, you know, but that's not gonna happen. I trust these alliance members so far, and so far they did not disappoint. Hopefully they will never disappoint, but we will see. and seems like they have targeted me to be their primary target. That's fine. Capacitor is decent, although I think I'll have to focus on the skills, on the engineering skills to further improve the capacitor. And I've noticed that most of my ships tend to run out of capacitor at one point, so I actually figured out that I have to, you know, get these skills up. For cruisers, that should be in good condition. I mean, it should be already leveled up. For battleships, I will have to work on that a little bit more, but so far quite stable. Not sure if we have one of the ships in the fleet here is giving us capacitor. Not quite sure about that, but I think they do. Besides shield or armor, they also should be giving us capacitor. I hope, at least. Not quite sure. Did not notice the effect, so I don't think that they have, but they could, or they should. And a couple more of these ships left. 4 of these ships are still on the grid. Now, aesthetically speaking, Machariel is definitely one of my personal best looking ships, and it has a really, you know, majestic design. I love it, so that also goes for it. Okay, and this next target is that Apocalypse. Okay, I'm not quite sure on what other ship does this ship remind me of. I mean, comparing it with the Cinnabal, yeah, it's definitely a lot prettier in a way. We all know Cinnabal is the ugliest ship in the game, although it's quite good. I love it. Dramiel, the best looking frigate. Machariel, the best looking battleship. While the Cinnabal is the, well, Cinnabal is the ugly one, okay? Although lately I have to say I love how the ship looks. I know it sounds weird, but yeah, been getting used to its design because of its very good performance. Well, then we have cleared this anomaly. That was nice. And is it me or is the bubble moving? Well, the bubble is moving, I think. I'll have to chase down. Yeah, the bubble is definitely moving. Well then, let me quickly start chasing our Guardian. I can do that efficiently because, again, this ship is very fast. I can catch them without any problems. Okay, let me just approach. There we go. This monstrosity of a ship is actually very fast. It's too fast for its size. It's terrifyingly fast. Angels love speed. I don't know why they love fast ships and enormous ships, but they do. So I guess that is working for them. Okay, well, that was the special anomaly. Was quite fun. Definitely a lot faster than with the Gila. I am this time I am giving a good damage boost to the fleet. Although I can actually, you know, go for full DPS if I replace all the shield resistance mods. I can do that, but I would feel unsafe, especially with my bad internet connection. And well, because of the constant chance that we get invaded. I mean, if we do, that will be fun. I would love to use the ship in such a massive fleet, and hopefully very soon that will happen. So you can stay tuned for that, because I think there are some very major conflicts around the corner, and I think we are actually in the line of fire. At least that's what I was told. So we will see what will happen. I'll definitely use this ship if the chances for that are lined up. Now, as for the other anomalies, it is clearing them quite quickly, quite efficiently. And I can go again solo, but I'll have to, you know, do that stealthy without notifying my corp mates. If they know that, they would definitely kill me. So yeah, I have to be stealthy for that. I don't want to make them mad. Was given strict orders to keep good care of this ship. Well, to take good care of this ship, and I have to do that because I am. Wait, what? 1 second. Is that another Machariel? It is. Oh, okay, well, let me approach that ship because why not? Machariels have to stick together after all. Strength in numbers. These ships are, well, actually the whole Angel faction to loves the ambush tactics. Although, can you actually do the ambush tactic in a battleship, at least with this one? In theory it should work, but it is kind of hard to pull off because, well, in this case I think it will be good for fleets, for quick assaults on, let's say, a citadel or something. So yeah, it still works. A little bit different from Cinnabal and Dramiel, but it still works. Cinnabal can work for solo PvP, one of the best hunting cruisers in that case. Good for hit and run. Dramiel is also good for that because of its very high velocity and very small signature radius and very high DPS. While the Machariel is also good in that, but in a fleet with a lot more other ships, and good for assaults. So interesting, very interesting. Definitely will be fun to, you know, jump some citadels in this. Mainly defense, but of course also a offensive operation. So we will see what will happen. So far it's been pretty well. It wasn't chill. We did have some intrusion, but that wasn't that dangerous as it could be. But soon that might change. Okay, let's focus on that. Well, my internet is not on my side here. I have a lot of ping, so yeah, a little bit on the edge flying the ship with high ping. I actually hate to fly any ship with crazy high ping, especially expensive ones. If this was, let's say, a cheap cruiser, I wouldn't mind, but it is quite a expensive piece of large ship, so I have to be very careful of what I do. Well then, I hope you enjoyed. Definitely a recommended ship that I love to fly. And well, I hope for more skins for it in the future, because these skins look very good for it. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.